obviously your maiden name is McCoy. McCoy is a very famous kind of riding in Oklahoma.
It is.
And obviously you have pretty famous brothers in that. Were you equally as like, I want to get on a horse, I want to do all the riding and be as competitive as your brothers?
Yes. I actually, even when I was teaching school the summertime, I would barrel race competitively at a professional level.
Wow.
So yes, definitely growing up, and I rode English and Western, and it just, horses I loved. But yeah, my brothers, a lot of people in Oklahoma don't even know that they have a sister, I think, because I'm a little bit older than they are, and they were on the Amazing Race 3 times, so I think that gets a lot more traction. But
what, for the people who don't know, like myself, don't know the difference, what is the difference between Western and English?
Mainly the type of riding and the saddle.
Okay.
So like if you see someone with the saddle that's the English saddle with no saddle horn and the iron stirrups, and maybe they're jumping like in the Olympics, that's going to be an English style of riding, as opposed to the Western that you're going to see on the ranch with the Western style saddle.
Yeah. So to be good at both is, I mean, do people mostly just kind of like focus on one and that's their craft, or do they do both?
They usually focus on one.
Okay.
But I loved both, and my dad thought that it made us better riders to have to do different things.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Did you ever think, when you watched the Olympics, did you think, I'd love to do that one day and be there?
Yes.
Right?
I have never jumped with a horse or played polo, and those are 2 things I would love to do.
Yeah. That would, because I mean, that's the thing, obviously, that people, back home, and I was in a house the other day, and there was a giant painting on the wall of the people back home in the UK in their red coats, and they were going fox hunting.
Yes.
And I was telling my friend that I said fox hunting's now banned in the UK, but they allow it on one day a year, and it's the day after Christmas.
Okay.
It's still banned, right? But they just kind of put up with it for one day of the year. No one's going to stop them because everybody's doing it.
Yes.
But it's really cool to see them just jumping, riding through the fields, jumping hedges, that are 6 to 8 feet high.
I would think you would have to be fearless to do that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine.
Oh, no thanks. And I've never really been comfortable on a horse. I had a terrible experience when I was a kid, and it's kind of ruined me, and I need to get over that fear and get back on a horse. But they're amazing creatures. They're beautiful, and obviously horse racing in the UK is quite a big big sport, and horse racing tracks and owners, and that's the horse racing that I see when I grew up. I never saw the farming and the ranching side and the barrel racing side. I mean, that's a serious skill, and you've got to have a lot of confidence, both of you, to do that. So I'm sure it was exhilarating to do that.
It was exhilarating, and I enjoyed that time in my life, but I think being able to ride also makes it fun now on my social media, because we lease 1,400 acres from the Nature Conservancy.
Okay.
And just to kind of give you a little background with that, there's an area that we call the Prairie Preserve that's close to where we are, and they are researching that area and how can we, take this land back to how it was at the prairie and how it changes. And so anytime that I'm out there checking our steers in the summer, I may see a van of college students from Kansas or Oklahoma, come across. But we don't use any type of wheeled vehicles out there. So I go check the cattle on my horse. And when I'm out riding, I just take my cell phone, and I may be galloping across the pasture and videoing and talking, and I'm constantly have people ask me, who's out there videoing you while you're doing that? And I'm like, nobody, just me.